As a client, as a user, I hate proprietary components. I give you an example. I'm a road cyclist. I had a beautiful Italian bike and I broke a handlebar on my bike. It can happen. I had to buy it from them and it cost me $1,800 just for the handlebar because you only can have one model going on this bike. So it's exactly what I do not want to do. So 100% of the components of the Velo Studio are non-proprietary. It means if you break any part of the bike except the e-wheel, the e-wheel is very specific to us, but we have spare parts and we can repair and we can recycle. But if you break any part of the bike, like a handlebar, like a seat post, a saddle, a grip, a chain, a crankset, anything, a bottom bracket, you can replace it with a part from the market. You can buy it from us or you can go to the bike shop or online and you will find a part that fits. That's super, super important because the circular economy, it's not about recycling, it's about reusing and making sure things are compatible, and they are.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Ways to Wealth. Today I am joined by Alex. Alex, why don't you give us the too long didn't read on who you are and how you got here and what your company does?
Yes, thank you for having me today. So my name is Alex Guichard. I'm originally from France. I've been in New Zealand for 11 years, and I am the co-founder of Le Velo Studio. And Le Velo in French means a bike. And we have designed the lightest e-bike on the market and designed under the circular economy principle. So we design, manufacture, and sell or assemble. We manufacture overseas, but we do all the assembly in New Zealand. And we sell direct in a B2C model.
Cool, awesome. And you've been doing that only for 18 months. Is that the entirety of the journey, or was it years in the making and building up to that point when you started and you actually started executing?
Before setting up the company, it took me more than 3 years. So officially, the company has been set up 18 months ago, but it's almost 4 years of development.
Right.
Development for
Yeah.
the new motor, new battery, carbon fiber frames, a very specific design, all the sourcing and supply chain. Yeah, a dedicated phone app. So it took me about 4 years to develop it.
Wow, okay. And what gave you the inspiration and inclination to build this type of product that was kind of very high end, very intentionally designed? Like, what was kind of what was the rationale or the motivation and what kind of started the ball rolling?
I think there is a gap on the market. So main issue with the e-bikes today on the market, they are bulky and heavy, and they are quite dangerous to ride. So I wanted to do something super cool in terms of aesthetic, with a vintage look, but using new technologies and new materials, and ultralight. So basically, an average weight of an e-bike today is between 20 to 25 kg, and we are about 12 kg. So we basically cut the weight by two, and we can do that because we use carbon fiber for the main components, and also because we don't have anymore a battery or a motor in a frame. Everything is in an e-wheel, so it's really compact and it's super light.
Ah, okay. Yeah, that's really interesting. And like, is this your first rodeo building something, or have you like what's the kind of what was the arc of the journey? When did you start to think about being entrepreneurial or inventing things? And yeah, how did it all come together? How did you even come to New Zealand, I guess?
It's my venture number four. So I
Okay.
have a bit of experience, and I don't know if we can call me a serial entrepreneur, but I have done a number of things. A lot in the carbon fiber industry, a lot with
Right.
engineering and design, and I used to work for different brands in the world, in many areas, in automotive, aerospace, luxury goods, sporting goods. And my first job was I designed a bike when I was 22, 23. And for years and years, I worked in other areas. And I decided to come back to bikes, yeah, about 4 years ago because I saw a gap on the market.
Right.
So I left France 11 years ago to relocate to New Zealand, and I set up my venture number three. Didn't work super well, um, but I have learned a lot about B2C and designing a own brand
Hmm.
and an own product. So this time I decided to set up a new company with my own brand, own product, but something I'm very familiar with. I've been working with
Mm.
bikes my entire life, and my son is a professional cyclist. So I'm
Ah.
really into cycling and bikes since years. Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing, like how elegant it looks versus your traditional e-bike. How are you able to achieve uh, that? Like, I get it's all in the wheel, but how, like, where, like, I guess, how do you convert that to where the battery should be? Like, where's all that distributed or saved, all the weight?
So we cut the weight, replacing heavy materials by light materials. So there is no steel, no aluminum when we can replace it by carbon fiber. For instance, the frame, the forks, the handlebars, the seat post, they are made of carbon fiber. So just to give you an idea, uh, a frame made of steel will be 3 to 3.5 kg, and we are about 900 grams. And Usually all the e-bikes, or 95% of the e-bikes on the market, they have a mid-drive engine and a battery in a frame. So that's why they're so bulky. And the idea was to have only one system. Everything is in an e-wheel and super compact. And the whole weight of the battery plus motor is about 2 kg for us. So that's why we can cut weight a bit everywhere. And then the aesthetic side, I really wanted to do something inspired by the past. I love the Art
Mm.
Deco period and 1910, 1920. So I had an inspiration of an old bike that I really loved, and I have tried to do something a little bit
Mm.
similar, but with modern materials and a luxury touch.
Yeah, nice. It does look luxury. Um, how have you managed to get it to market? Like, what's been the plan? Like, what's been the kind of journey? You have an idea for this great e-bike that's kind of Art Deco in nature, going to be redesigned, going to be much lighter. How do you make the first steps to start getting to that outcome where you're assembling the bikes?
Um, I have been working for a lot of brands in other areas, so I have seen basically what works, what doesn't work. So in terms of product development, I really went step by step. So I did a mock-up of, obviously before the mock-up, it was design on papers and then CAD. And then we did a mock-up and a real mock-up scale one, and then a real prototype. And once a real prototype was done, step by step, every month, we modified a number of things to try to have the perfect product. And I think we are not far of having it now. So it's a long process because when you do a hardware development, every time you have a modification on a design step, it takes weeks or months because you need to cut a tool or to modify a tool,
Mm.
and it's like a 2 3 months process, and then you have to validate it again. So that's why if you add every steps, it took about almost 4 years. And on top of that, then we had to develop a bit of electronic with a specific app, with computer, with a display, with a Bluetooth button to control the motor. So it was a bit of hardware development and software. But software is relatively easy. Hardware is
Mm.
it's another story.
Okay, yeah, cool. And is it how have you funded it? Is it like bootstrapped?
Yeah, at the beginning it was bootstrap. I found it with my own money. And then I had a first investor coming. So he's a partner with me. So he put some cash in the company. And we are just about to raise some money now with business angels. Not necessarily business angel networks, but we're going to have 3 or 4 individuals investing a bit of money for us to scale up the business overseas.
Hmm. And what's the biggest challenge now, you think, like for the business? Like, what's the big next barrier you have to face?
There are many. So the first one is we are at the stage where we are assembling right now, as we are speaking, the first production batch, the first run. So we're gonna deliver 40 clients very soon, only in New Zealand. So we decided to sell only in New Zealand for a year or two to validate the concept, to validate the business model, to make sure we have spare parts in the country, to make sure we have 40 happy customers, and they may generate 200 or 300 other ones. And then we're gonna scale up little by little.
So you sold 40 bikes already?
Yeah. So what I did a few months ago, I decided to go on a tour, and I have
Okay.
done Nelson, Wellington, Auckland, Mount Maunganui, Christchurch, a few Queenstown, Wanaka. We've done a tour with 4 or 5 bikes. At that time, they were only sample bikes, but the same as a production bike. And I had about 400, 500 people trying the bike. For a
Yeah.
short test ride, sometimes it was like 3 minutes, sometimes it was like half an hour, and 40 people decided to pre-purchase and to back us for the. So it was like a
Nice.
private Kickstarter without.
Yeah, where you don't have to pay the transaction fee.
Yeah. And all the marketing associated, because the problem with Kickstarter today is fantastic for certain companies, but if you want to be successful and if you want to raise like $500,000, you probably have to invest 200,000 just for marketing. So we didn't.
Yeah, right. Yeah, fair enough. Well, it's cool. I mean, it's great validation to get 40 bikes off the line and also know that, you've got people using it, feeling it, learning about it, giving you that inspiration to further improve things. But by the sounds of it, it seems like you guys have gone through that phase already. Um, have you ever had any experience? You've worked for other brands and stuff. I mean, have you ever, like, what is it after the first batch is done? What's typically the biggest problem when you've got a B2C, I guess, product like this? Like is it what happens after you deliver your first 40? Have you got any experience in that? Do you have an idea of what the next 6 months looks like?
Yeah, I think I can see what type of problems we may have to solve. We're not the first one doing B2C in the bicycle industry. It's relatively new. 10 years ago, it didn't happen, but today, a large majority of people, they buy a bike online. So one of the main challenge is maintenance. So people, they have to go to a mechanic or to a bike shop for the maintenance of their bike regularly, like every 6 months or every year, or when they have an issue. So we need to set up a network of approved mechanics in New Zealand and
Right.
then overseas. When you deal directly with clients, you can have emails or phone calls of clients. Oh, I have a problem with my display. How do I solve it? So we had to create a lot of tutorials. So the website's gonna have very soon 10 or 12 video tutorials for every single potential issue you can have on a bike to try to solve
Yeah.
95% of the issues. And we will discover a few stuff on the road for sure. But I'm quite confident we should not experience major issues because we have done so much testing. Honestly, more
Right.
than 2 years of testing, thousand and thousand of kilometers of testing with different riders. I'm
Wow.
quite confident we should not have a lot of issues to solve.
That's cool. And then what's the manufacturing kind of design decisions? Like you mentioned that it's a circular economy style approach, and then that you're assembling yourselves. Like, how does that look like, especially while being bootstrapped and everything? How do you scale that up?
Um, as a client, as a user, I hate proprietary components. I give you an example. I'm a road cyclist. I had a beautiful Italian bike, and I broke a handlebar on my bike. It can happen. I had to buy it from them, and it cost me $1,800 just for the handlebar because you only can have one model going on this bike. So it's exactly what I do not want to do. So 100% of the component of Le Velo Studio are non-proprietary. It means if you break any part of the bike except the e-wheel, so e-wheel is very specific to us, but we have spare parts and we can repair and we can recycle. But if you break any part of the bike, like a handlebar, like a seat post, a saddle, a grip, a chain, a crankset, anything, a bottom bracket, you can replace it with a part from the market. You can buy it from us, or you can go to the bike shop or online, and you will find a part that fits. That's super, super important. Because the circular economy, it's not about recycling. It's about reusing and making sure things are compatible, and they are.
Uh-huh. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And it um not surprising, but it feels almost surprising because when you look at the bike, it looks and feels so unique in a sense. Even though obviously it's very simple, it just feels unique. So to have everything that can be easily changed is a massive benefit.
To me, it's extremely important for the user to offer something that they can repair, replace, reuse. Uh,
Yeah.
any product today on the market should be designed under the circular economy principle. And in the bike industry, it is not at all. There are a lot of proprietary components. In the cell phone industry, it's even worse. I mean, you know that 82% of cell phone in the world, they are not recycled because it's more costly to recycle than recycling
Mm,
it. So, and in and e-bikes, it's even worse. A huge majority of e-bikes today they will finish landfill because it will be too expensive to dismantle the battery and the motor and all the wires. So at the end
right.
of the life, people they will landfill the bikes, which is to me not acceptable. So our bike has
Mm,
no wire; it's all Bluetooth. You know, all these little details have been taken in consideration in a design brief.
that's really cool. That's awesome. What at what point in life did you like build this love for design?
Quite early, quite early. For years, when I was 22, 23, I had a little engineering company in France and I designed parts, or we designed, I had a small company, we're only 5 people, but we designed some products, quite industrial, but quite a lot as well in outdoor space for other brands. So when you design a lot of products for other brands, at some point you probably want to try to design it for yourself and not having any boundaries or limits given by another brand. You want to do the way you want to do it. And obviously, it's a bit more risky, but we will see.
For sure. Well, that's awesome. No, that sounds really great. I mean, I think to get this far is really impressive, and to be selling those bikes. I mean, I know it's not going to recover all the R&D that's gone into it, but it's great validation, for sure. And if you sell 10 times that and get 400 bikes out, all of a sudden it's that next layer of validation, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. No, the plan is to go slowly, little by little, step by step. We're gonna do 40 bikes. Next production batch, it will be probably 60 or 70, and the one after about 100. So we will do that for I don't know a year or two.
How much from a percentage basis, how much do you think the bike changes on each batch then while it's going through this sort of phase of life cycle?
It will
Like,
be
is it
it will be the same.
3%?
It will be the same bike because
Exactly the same.
exactly the same. You know, there is something I hate on bikes. It's when you have a big advertising, a big logo, and because to be honest, today the difference between a brand A and B, this is basically the color of the bike, and the size of the sticker. And I wanted to do something completely different. So we are low branding. There
Mm,
is no branding on the bike. Just we have a little logo at the back, but very discreet. And the edition one is black matte with a golden chain. It's all about details and a brass head badge made of brass. So
yeah,
I hopefully it's gonna be timeless. So I think we're gonna keep this bike for years and years. And this is the plan: is to show
right.
to people they can buy a bike and still use it for 10, 20 years or even more. And when we talk about the circular economy, this is the first.
Is that why? So, with the wheel being the way it is, you're replacing the battery when you replace the wheel. Is that correct?
No, actually, where the way it is, it's even better than this. At the end of the life of the e-wheel, either you replace the e-wheel with a new e-wheel, either you return to a push bike. So you can put a push wheel in the same bike and reuse your bike for decades as a
Ah,
push bike. So this is a way for me where the circular design, this is a real
ah,
circular design, is to be able to
yeah,
replace
interesting.
electronic with a with a conventional
Yeah.
wheel, and you're gonna use the bike forever as a push bike.
Wow. Okay, that's interesting. But can you theoretically like get future e-wheels in the future that have longer range and you think that will be appropriate or it's not needed?
No, so with our current e-wheel, we have two models. You can do up to 55, 60K per ride if you use the power all the
That's
time.
quite far.
But if you don't use power all the time, because the bike is so light, you can use it as a normal bike. You're gonna do 100 or 120K. So we can cover any range. And in the future, if we need to change a battery, we can. You know, with the client can't, but they're gonna send us back the e-wheel, and we can replace the battery and
Mm.
extend the life of the wheel for a long time. But again,
Because that's the
we will
dream.
offer the option for the clients to use a push wheel if they want to.
Interesting. But I think a lot of people probably like the e-bike component of it, right? So they'll probably stick to that,
Probably,
maybe.
yeah, I think so. We'll see. We'll see. You have some people, they just buy an e-bike because they are not fit enough, and they want to return to fitness and exercise. And
And
they
then they
feel
get that.
better, they want to have a bit more workout. So yeah, we'll see.
Oh, and it's cool because that means could you pretty easily. I mean, it's probably be a bit of a faff, a bit annoying, but you can easily switch between
Ah,
or.
yeah. I do it every day on my bike.
Mm.
If I
Oh, okay.
commute, I'm gonna use e-wheel, and if I go for a sporty ride, I'm gonna replace it by a push wheel for a 80K sporty ride, and it takes a few minutes, not long. Yeah.
Oh, well. Are there any specific brands or designers that you particularly are inspired by?
No, no. In terms of not really designers, um, I am inspired by any brand that is interested into timeless products, luxury discreet. I don't like bling bling. I like, for instance, I will be more, I'm not anymore a huge fan of cars, but I will be more interested in Aston Martin than a flashy Italian sport car, for instance. But
Hmm.
it's my personal taste. So I don't like flashy stuff. For me, luxury is, it has to look good, it has to look beautiful, but you don't want to be flashy. It has to
Mm,
attract naturally your eyes.
right. Yeah, interesting. Are there anything in any company or anything in particular you think of when you think of that?
Well, there are a few companies I really like. I used to work a little bit for them. It's Louis Vuitton, for instance, in
Uh-huh.
France. I think they really have the luxury code without being flashy. They have a few flashy stuff, but basically uh, they're not, and they really do. They really manufacture high-end, good materials. And if you take a Louis Vuitton bag, it's gonna last probably 30 years, and it's really timeless. You even can tell if it's from the years 1980 or 2010, and I really like it.
Yeah. Yeah, right. So what do when you think of a I don't know, a bike brand like Kona or something, what do you think of those guys? Um,
Oh, it's today. So they are on for road cycling. They are really really good brands. On especially in Italy. Um, on e-bikes, today they are all the same. Honestly, if you have a look between Giant, Specialized, Trek, Merida, or any other big brands, to me they look the same. They are same bikes, and they use the same Bosch components, and they use the same batteries, the same motor. The main difference is
and they
basically,
put them on the same part of the chassis as
yeah,
well?
yeah, they are basically the same bikes. So it's the only difference is the size of the sticker and the warranty you're gonna have. And
Mm,
I'm not saying that they can do very good bikes. This is not a question, but it's more there is no difference. And when the thing is, when you see a Velo Studio in the middle of 100 other bikes, you can see immediately our bike in the middle because it's really really different. It looks different.
Um, if there's anywhere in the world you'd most like to ride your bike, where would you go on a bike on a little road trip on your bike?
For road, I think Italy is amazing. France as well. Definitely in Europe on the road. For gravel, honestly, New Zealand is stunning. We have the best gravel trail in the world. I'm not interested anymore in mountain biking. I don't do a lot of mountain bikes anymore, and we have very good mountain bike trails. But I think New Zealand
Yeah.
is incredible for gravel rides. But if you do road, and I still do a bit of road, Europe is probably the way to go.
Yeah, right. Awesome. Um, where now that it's just New Zealand, would you go in your second batch broader than New Zealand, or are you going to stick to New Zealand, do you think?
No, no. For the second and third batch, we will do only New Zealand, and then we will scale up probably Australia first and Japan. I would say before
Do you
going.
think you'd ever sell through distributors and like through stores?
No, no, I don't think we will go through stores. I would love to go to work with bike shops. The issue is we will be instead of 7,000 for a bike, we will be probably 11 or 12,000. And the thing is, I think we can develop a very good model D2C. So maybe a franchise model. We are thinking about it. It could be a franchise model, and we want to choose carefully which country we open first. For instance, Europe, obviously, it's a big market, uh, but there are way more competition. Uh, I think Japan will be awesome for us because Japan, they will love the French Kiwi story, the eyes for details. Uh, the weight is essential in Japan because everybody lives in, uh, in not tiny house, but in small apartments upstairs. They don't have an elevator all the time, so the weight of the bike is crucial. Way more than Australia, for instance, where a majority of people they live in a house.
Ah, that's an interest. There's a subtlety.
Hmm.
That's a subtlety there. That's interesting. So, I mean, if you could cast your mind in 5 years into the future, like how many bikes would you, in your head, wish you would have sold if we go all the way out to 2030?
I think for the next 2 3 years, if we do 400 bikes a year, it's enough. We just want to ramp up slowly with high quality products. And when we will scale up, if we are able to sell 300 bikes per year in New Zealand, uh, I'm convinced we probably can sell 1,000 in Australia and 2 or 3,000 in Japan, for instance. But
Yeah.
step by step, we don't have a big venture capital firm behind us yet. So there is no one to push growth for growth. We're going to try to find a way to have a sustainable growth. Not
Do you know, like, is that 300 bikes a year kind of moment is a pretty sustainable situation?
Yeah, yeah, it will be good. Uh, if we do about $2 3 million revenue, uh, step by step, we will be quite profitable
Mm.
without the necessity to have a huge staff, and then we can scale up properly.
Yeah, cool. There are lots of designers out there right now that are um, maybe finding it harder to find their way into a team because team spots now are so much more kind of exclusive in a sense. There's teams are not growing; they're shrinking. Especially in the design, technology, and innovation space, you're getting smaller teams emerge, right?
Yeah,
That are more micro. And there's a lot of designers out there that the difference between design and execution was over time got much smaller together. So, you know, there are, I'm sure, a bunch of designers now more than ever that are able to execute on their ideas and bring their designs to life, probably easier than they could in the past. like how do you think a modern, someone starting their career in design and like you did an invention, in early 20s, starting to build their own small design agency of some description, how would how does that has that changed? Like, has the environment changed? How does someone in that design space kind of utilize uh, actually being able to say actually being a designer is an advantage now, and I can get things to market quicker, or in general, like I can just get things to market now? How do you think that is?
Um, I think for a young designer or for a young agency, the main challenge is the type of product you're gonna work on it. I mean, if you work on a product with a long lifetime as a bike should be you should buy a bike for 10 years or for 20 years. So you have time to develop it. But if you work on on a gadget, if I can say, like a cell phone. Uh, the lifetime of a cell phone today is basically 2 years. So if it takes you 4 years to develop the product and you only can sell it for 2 years, that's one of the main challenge. So you want to be out of the gadget industry and to work on something long term, in my opinion. So that's why the timeless quality and non-gadget stuff is super important for a designer. I have never been interested in developing gadgets because we don't need gadgets. We don't need gadgets. So I'm really into I buy less, but I buy better, and hopefully I want to encourage people to do the same.
Yeah. And how do you think in the modern day you would get your break to stand out, to get a shot? Like, at some point you might not be the sole designer of product in your organization. You might have someone that you hire in.
Yeah, yeah.
Um, what are the characteristics that would give? How do you envision when your business gets bigger and you decide I'm going to take on a junior designer or someone that's new in their career to help me think through things? What would you look for in this day and age? And like how do you think how do they think they should think about it, I guess?
I already did it because I have not designed the whole thing by myself. During the 4 years, I have been working with multiple contractors, one for CAD, one for high quality renders, one for mechanical engineering, one for FEA, finite element analysis, one for various for various items. So when I work with a designer or with another people working with me on a design, the first thing I checked, obviously, technical skills, but if the values are fit or not, and because the values of design, the values of the product, it has to fit with my vision. So I'm better working with some people saying, okay, is circular economy an important point in your design brief? Yes or no? If people are not sensitive to this one, I know it's not going to be working. If they want to put flashy colors on a bike because they think flashy is cool, it's not going to be working. The bike is black matte because the star, it's not a color, the star is a bike. And if you put some colors, you divert the eyes of the user on something flashy to forget a poor design, if I can say. So we wanna so it's all this type of stuff I check when I work with a designer, and I always try to find smarter people than me. So I'm quite good with carbon fiber or manufacturing processes, but for other stuff like electronics, like motor, like how to implement the battery, I have been working with people with other expertise and other skills.
Nice. And do you think there's an endless amount of problems to solve out there for designers nowadays,
In a bike industry
or
or in
not?
general?
In general.
Yes, there are still, yeah. Yeah, yeah, definitely.
There's not a shortage, right?
No, 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 there is no shortage.
Because perhaps we can kind of sometimes feel like there's nothing left to do, but
Oh,
there's,
no, no, there are plenty of stuff to do, always. There are
yeah.
plenty of stuff to do in all areas, I think, in all areas. But things take more time than what we think. That's the thing. It took me 4 years just for a bike. So I don't know if you remember, like 20 years ago, everybody said cars in 2020s they will be all autonomous. Okay. So today, autonomous car it's 0.1% of the market. So I mean, it takes time. It doesn't take 10 years. It takes 50 years to do it. So it's there are always space for improvement for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming on the pod. I really appreciate it, and I love the look of your product. I can't wait to ride it. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing your ideas with us.
Yes, thanks a lot. We will make sure you read it soon, Charlie.
Thank you.
Cheers.